What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So today we are reacting to serial killer sentenced to death row court reactions 2019. So I've seen like some court reactions where a man that jumped on a man for killing his son. People like can't believe they getting sentenced after they committed fucking perjury and shit. It's just crazy, bro. But this shit be funny as hell though. I ain't even gonna lie. But before the video gets started, please like and comment and subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate it. Subscribe. Without further ado, let's get right into this video in 3, 2, 1, bow.
Of what one human being can do to not one, but 3 human beings. It is incomprehensible.
You ain't got a white judge.
Lord and deceased Shatisha Sheely, Angela Deskins, and Sherelda Terry to your apartment for your depraved purposes. You went on to abuse the corpses of these 3 victims. You stripped them from the waist down. You folded them in half.
This nigga sick as hell. Oh hell no, that nigga sick. Nigga, bury him under the fucking prison, nigga.
Binding them so that their feet were up by their ears. You wrapped them in multiple layers of trash bags, and you discarded them. Upon consideration of the relevant evidence, the testimony exhibits admitted in mitigation, it is a judgment of this court that the aggravated circumstances of course of conduct, felony murder, kidnapping, felony murder, rape, of which the defendant was convicted, outweigh the mitigating factors by proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Accordingly, the sentence of death is imposed upon the defendant, Michael Madison, on counts 1, 4, and 7.
Sentenced to fucking death.
Mr. Gillard,
there was no reaction though. He didn't do anything.
Been convicted of the murder in the first degree of April Holland by unanimous verdict of the jury, duly returned during the term of Superior Court of Wake County, North Carolina, and the jury having unanimously recommended the punishment of death. It is therefore ordered and adjudged that the same Siaga Edward Gillard be and is hereby sentenced to death. And the Sheriff of Wake County, North Carolina.
You know how hard that is to be sentenced to death in prison? You can't see the outside world anymore. Like, nigga, you're gonna die in prison. Like, how fucking crazy is that? Or you gonna spend half of the rest of your life in prison and maybe 10% of it out? Like, that shit crazy, bro. Like, think before you act, man.
In whose custody said defendant is now, shall forthwith deliver said prisoner.
I know he's sad as fuck.
To the warden of the state.
He trying not to cry. That's why he blinking so damn much.
And the said warden shall cause said prisoner, Siaga Edward Gillard, to be put to death as by the law provided. Siaga Edward Gillard, having
that nigga sad as hell,
of murder in the first degree of Dwayne Garvey by unanimous verdict of the jury, duly returned in the term of Superior Court of Wake County, North Carolina, and the jury having unanimously recommended the punishment of death. It is therefore ordered and adjudged that the same Siaga Edward Gillard be and is hereby sentenced to death. And the Sheriff.
Damn, how many times you gonna say death, nigga? I get it, nigga. Shit.
Now is shall forthwith deliver said prisoner, Siaga Edward Gillard, to the warden of the state penitentiary at Raleigh, North Carolina, and the same warden shall cause said prisoner, Siaga Edward Gillard, to be put to death as by the law provided. This, the 4th day of March, 2019. May God have mercy on your soul.
What's the point of saying that, nigga?
Therefore, this panel finds the death penalty is
appropriate,
should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant.
White cracker.
It is therefore the sentence of this court as follows. At case CR 13-2768, count 1, murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony, death. Count 2, use of a deadly weapon, firearm to commit a felony, a class 1C felony.
That nigga must be really dangerous, because you see all them motherfuckers surrounding him, waiting for this nigga to pop. He got something around his waist and shit. They ain't had that on the other dude, nigga. This nigga look like, ooh.
45 to 50 years to run consecutive to all murder convictions at counts 1, 4, 7, and 10.
Scary as fuck.
Count 3, possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited person, class 1D felony, 45 to 50 years to run consecutive to all murder convictions at counts 1, 4, 7, and 10, and count 2.
He was chilling.
After having conducted the required weighing process and analysis, this court finds that the state of Ohio has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the aggravating circumstances associated with count 1 outweigh the mitigating factors. The court further separately finds that the state of Ohio has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the aggravating circumstances associated with count 7 outweigh the mitigating factors. The court therefore concurs with the jury's sentencing verdicts regarding counts 1 and 7. The court therefore finds that a sentence of death by legal ejection shall be imposed upon Mr. Great for the aggravated murder of Elizabeth Griffith as stated in count 1 of the indictment. And a sentence of death by lethal injection shall be imposed.
This gotta be in Florida, because I think they the only ones that still do that shit where they can inject that shit and kill you. That's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up. A nigga shouldn't die like that, man. That's fucked up. That's sick as fuck. It's just sick to me, bro. Like, it's just shit sick.
On Mr. Great for the aggravated murder of Stacy J. Hicks, a.k.a. Stacy J. Stanley, as stated in count 7 of the indictment. The court further orders that each of the death penalties be carried out by appropriate authorities on September 13, 2018, which would be the 2-year anniversary of Mr. Great's discovery.
The Bible says we have to love our family, but I don't have to be around my sister Sue anymore. You have put a scar on my heart and my family's heart. You have lied to family and friends over and over. Can I forgive you? I don't know. Can God forgive you for what you've done? I don't know. As you do your time given, think about what you've done and be ready to suffer the consequences. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Salem.
Oh, wow, that's a whole one.
Terrible situation, obviously. And it's really created some emotional trauma to the family as a result of what's happened here. We recognize that the defendant does have some issues herself, and she was placed in a position of having to render hospice, if you will, to her mother. And she was challenged by that, and obviously she took...
Bro, they always say that about white people. Like, white people, they grew up in a rough environment, and they got beat when they were young. Bitch, we did too, but we ain't out here acting crazy like that, nigga. We ain't up out here shooting churches and shit, nigga. We ain't up out here shooting schools. We grew up rough and hard too. Come on now. I hate when they try to use that with white people. Oh, they not right in the mind. And nigga, if we weren't right in the mind, if we grew up rough, nigga, we still get sentenced to life, prison, lethal injection, nigga, under the jail, nigga, all that and all that. What you mean?
The wrong path in administering the medication to her mother.
I only did what I was instructed to do by a nurse. And God knows my heart, and God knows the truth. That's it.
When I sentence you, Ms. Kubitschek, I balance the principles of punishment, rehabilitation, protection of society, as well as deterrence. I consider the positive and the negative things you bring before the court. You were entrusted with the care of your ailing mother, and I can certainly understand the frustration that you were in and maybe some realization of your mother's condition. However, what you did was inexcusable.